Kick-ass facts, more shady government programs. Pew, 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 pew! Project Minaret was a domestic espionage project operated by the National Security Agency, which, after intercepting electronic communications that contained the names of pre-designated U.S. citizens, passed them to other government law enforcement and intelligence organizations. Intercepted messages were disseminated to the FBI, CIA, Secret Service, Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs, and the Department of Defense. No court authorized the operation, and there were no warrants. The project was a sister project to Project Shamrock. Project Shamrock. 3 major cable companies provided copies of international telegrams passing through New York, Washington, and San Francisco. In the 1950s, the new Shamrock tapped the links of 60 to 70 foreign embassies. At the height of Project Shamrock, 150,000 messages were printed and analyzed by NSA personnel in a month. In May 1975, congressional critics began to investigate and expose the program. A 1977 U.S. Department of Justice review concluded wiretap laws were violated. One result of these investigations was the 1978 creation of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which limited the powers of the NSA and put in place a process of warrants and judicial review. And if you think it only happened in the 70s, in 2016, government agencies sent 49,868 requests for user data to Facebook, 27,850 to Google, and 9,076 to Apple, according to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, a major nonprofit organization that defends civil liberties in the digital world and advises the public on matters of internet privacy. Operation Merlin was a plan to provide Iran with a flawed design for a component of a nuclear weapon in order to delay the alleged Iranian nuclear weapons program. To do that, they decided to arrange for Tehran's scientists to receive a nuclear blueprint that was intentionally incorrect and wouldn't produce a working bomb. They gave the blueprints to a Russian scientist who had no idea they were fake. As per the plan, the scientist passed the plans along to the Iranians, but he noticed the plans were flawed and he pointed it out to them. How helpful. Instead of crippling Iran's nuclear program, Operation Merlin may have accelerated it by providing them with useful information. This was all documented in a book called State of War, The Secret History of the CIA and the Bush Administration, by author and intelligence correspondent for the New York Times. In late 2010, former CIA officer Jeffrey Alexander Sterling was indicted for allegedly being the source of some of the information in the book and was convicted of espionage in January 2015. The Stargate Project was a secret U.S. Army unit established in 1978 to investigate the potential for psychic phenomena in military and domestic intelligence applications. The project and its precursors and sister projects originally went by various code names: Gondola Wish, Stargate, Grill Flame, Centerlane, Project CF, and Sunstreak, until 1991, when they were consolidated into Stargate Project. The Stargate Project's work primarily involved remote viewing, the purported ability to psychically see events, sites, or information from a great distance. The Stargate Project was terminated and declassified in 1995 after a CIA report concluded that it was never useful in any intelligence operation. The program was featured in the 2004 book and the 2009 film, both titled The Men Who Stare at Goats. Before you say it, I know, Canada's not immune. In the 1960s, the Canadian government tried to develop a gaydar machine. In the 1960s, the Canadian government hired Frank Robert Wake, Carleton University psychology professor, and sent him to the U.S. for a year so he could study the homosexual detection methods they were working on. There he came across a study by an American university professor that was recently done for a marketing firm where he put cameras on subjects' heads and sent them into a grocery store to see how their pupils reacted to different types of packaging. Wake thought, perfect. A camera measured the subject's pupils as naughty images flashed on a screen. They used this to exclude or fire more than 400 men from civil service, the military, and the Mounties because they thought they were homosexual and would be a threat to national security. In an attempt to build this gaydar machine, careers and lives were destroyed. The government accused thousands of people of sexual abnormality with little or no evidence. The fruit machine, as it was called, consisted of a series of questions, a chair resembling a dentist chair, and flashing images of mundane scenes contrasted with pornography that people in the 50s thought gay people would like. Think carnival strongmen. Subjects were told the machine was measuring stress. They sat in the chair and watched the images while scientists noticed their pulse rate, skin reflexes, breathing rate, and pupillary response. The test failed to consider that pupils react to light, so going from a brighter photo to a darker photo caused the same reaction as sexual interest, a problem the scientists invested a lot of time trying to remedy with no success. The project had a ton of other problems, including the fact that any bisexual subjects would have completely negated the test. The test cameras also had to be mounted from the side so as not to block the subject's view of the images, which made their pupil size even harder to measure. Ultimately, the project collapsed when the homosexual panic died down a little bit and the government decided it wasn't going to invest any more money into it.